Okay, hello everybody. How's it going? Okay, if we're going to draw a sword, we're going to need to know the basic anatomy of a sword. So here I'm drawing a very simple sword, and also don't stress yourself out about it. I'm using some graph paper here because it helps for drawing the sword straight for when you want a straight sword. This is the grip. That's where you grip it. This right here, well, let's add some arrows. This is the guard because it protects your hand while you're gripping it and keeps other swords from hitting you. And this down here is the pommel. Pommel's pretty cool. It helps with balance and ergonomics, keeps your hand from sliding off the end of the grip. Look, this thing up here, this big boy is called the blade. This is the business end of the sword. Well, the real business end up here is called the point. And then this whole section here, the guard, the grip, the pommel, is called the hilt. This part stays outside of the sheath. Looking more closely at the hilt, basically what I'm trying to talk about is how the blade actually usually goes all the way through the pommel for strength purposes. This part of the blade that's inside the pommel is called the tang. All right. I messed up. Ignore this line. Look, I'm drawing another version of it here. You can trade off and get a slightly weaker version of this. These are blades that just extend upwards into infinity for my illustration's sake. Also, oh, I forgot to mention this little groove in the middle of the blade here. You can see it slightly indicated here and here is called the fuller. I mean, some people call it like a like a blood drain or something, but really I think it's just to lighten the weight of the sword. This little dotted line here shows how the metal of the sword goes all the way through the handle, except if you don't want to do that, you can have something called a half tang, where it doesn't go all the way through the handle. And your sword might be lighter that way, uh, but it's also more likely to maybe break or fall apart. And of course, you can widen it out and have it come all the way to the edge of the handle, maybe, or just adjust it in a huge number of ways when you're making the sword. And then once it comes out of the end of the pommel, right, the tang, you can you can either like put a screw in here, or as it comes out, you can hammer it and round it over, hit it with what's called a peen hammer, and and round it out so it would come out like this, and then you'd smash it down, and then that would help secure the handle onto the sword. Here's a fun sword. This is more of like some sort of anime hero sword. I'm adding some grip lines to the handle. Yeah. How do with those pirate swords? It's like I think I made it too narrow. Something kind of like this. See, this kind of sword, it's only sharp on one side. I feel like there's different options for daggers. You can have a dagger that's just pointy, or you have a dagger, it's like a Bowie knife, like this. Or we could do like an assassin's. I don't know. This looks like a kind of a cursed dagger. Now, what about this? I've got an idea. What about a sword that goes like this? Would you opt for this sword? I'm kind of drawing all the cross guards the same way. Handle's a little big. This is only for people with big hands. Do you think this would be useful? I think it'd be very front heavy if we had some sort of special, ancient, rare, very light metal. Like if we could make like a titanium sword like this or something. I know that's not a rare or ancient. Maybe it is rare and ancient. Anyways, just thinking out loud here. Wait, but what if you had a sword like this, right? Yes. Yes, I'm getting a little sloppy. But what if, for extra control, it went like this? Usually when you say a two-handed sword, it just usually means like the handle's like a little longer, right? So you can fit two hands on there. One hand here, and then your other hand here, right? Instead of just room for one hand. But what about a two-handed sword like this? No? But now I'm thinking of those like pirate sabers. They have like those cages around them with these special uh, rapiers or something. You can like, maybe they come out even further like this. And then there's something, I'm just kind of drawing from memory here. The handle is something weird like this, and then sometimes I can't remember if the ones I'm thinking of are something from some weird video game or if it's a real life thing. I messed up the tip. And the tip was the most important part because I'm thinking sometimes these swords are not sharp on the edges at all, but only sharp on the end, and you're supposed to only poke people with it. But this handguard thing is. But then again, I feel like on some maybe I drew this handguard wrong. Maybe this handguard is supposed to be like protecting you like this, you know? So you put your hand in here, and then the sword comes out like this. I don't know why I'm drawing extra stuff in here, but was I off base or am I thinking about this backwards? Right, hang on. I just had an idea of what I want to draw next. What about one of these? I know you're going to love this one. Nice big handle. Maybe a little bit of a booster here. And then maybe a little bit more because it still looks too close. And then a big ring, I guess. And then we're going chain. I don't know how long this chain's supposed to be, though. I'm trying to draw a morning star. That's what these are called, right? Like a flail? What's the difference between a flail and a morning star? I'm not sure. I'm kind of inspired at the moment by the one that, what's her name? Eowyn uses to slay the Witch King of Angmar in Lord of the Rings. It had like a tiered spike system. I think it would hurt to get hit by this thing. Yeah, I'll put a spike on the bottom too, yeah. In case you bop them with the bottom. This looks like it would be a workout to swing around. Now, what about this? We've got the bottom, and then it's a pole. The thing about this, yeah, I'm drawing what I assume is, I think it's called either a pole axe or a pole arm, or I've even heard it called a halberd. And I don't really know what the difference is between all of those. But you can have a fun time with the shape of the axe part. I feel like the standard is like just like an axe shape, kind of like this, right? I'm thinking maybe I should have hollowed this out a little bit more for ergonomics, to lighten it. But I mean, then on the other side, you could put another axe, right? It could be a like a double axed halberd like this, or it could be, yeah, the double axed is pretty cool looking. Or you could do one of these with a spike in case you need a spike for something. I don't know, for your enemies or for like a door you come up to, or I'm not sure. It just looks a little more utilitarian and well-rounded. I think this looks cooler personally than a double-ended thing. But you still got other options too, with as far as the head goes, because you could. Sorry, I mean, even with the thing on top, I usually put a little spike on top, like a spear, and then. But look, what if we went down like this, and we kind of gave it more of a straight edge? That's kind of got a cool look. I kind of like that. And I don't know, maybe like this on the back. I feel like that would make a cool front to the halberd. Or what if on top of the halberd, like you had some standard halberd like this, you know, axe shape, pokey in the back. You could put, instead of the spear tip, some other weird acts like, no, this is getting too out of control. I take it back. It would get caught on stuff or something. I was just trying to, cause a little more mayhem. I'm gonna be like, no. I'm gonna say that's a no on that tip. But we're just thinking here, okay? We're just thinking out loud. This is what you gotta do. But okay. Let's draw a nicer sword here. Stop messing around for a second. First of all, the blade, starting here. Yep. This is going to be a sword for boss fights. Maybe a sort of Kingslayer sword. See, got some kind of barbs or something. It's kind of got a flame-like aesthetic to this sword. It's a little bit thicker down at the base, so you could do something like hollow it out near the base, like add a hollow section, right? Like this. And like put a little flame in there or something. Then we need to make a nice hilt here. Yeah. Can't tell what I'm doing here. I'm messing up a little bit, but it's okay. Some like precious gems out here or something. Maybe they're enchanted gems to give the sword a bit more power, a little bit of oomph when you need it. Maybe you're fighting an enchanted adversary, so you need some magic to help you. This is looking pretty cool. With something like this, you could add some color, some, I don't know, particle effects, so on and so forth. We're running out of room here. What if its sword is made from a meteorite or a comet? Those are a little bit harder to fashion because maybe it's like a crystal shard, This could have inherent magical powers for slaying dragons, or a sword like this made out of a comet or a meteorite or an asteroid is good because it could have otherworldly powers, or at least could be imbued, maybe more easily imbued with otherworldly powers. So there we go, a quick little primer to some weapons that you can doodle. Let me know what other type of things you want to see. Thanks, everyone.